CP Voice. I'm super excited about today's show because my next guest is a former attorney and political commentator. She's an award-winning journalist and author who's here to talk about her latest book, The Woman Code, 20 Powerful Keys to Unlock Your Life. It's the one and only Sophia Nelson. Sophia, welcome.
Oh, I'm delighted to be here, baby.
Lovely to have you. How are you liking the Big Apple?
You know, I told you, country girl lost in the city. I don't know. I got a little bit lost. But look, every time I come to New York, I have like a 2 to 3 day limit.
Yes.
And I have to get back home. New York it's a beautiful place. Everybody loves Broadway. But the tempo is a little too much for me.
Yeah, for sure. In the book, which has had rave reviews, by the way, it was just endorsed
Humbling.
by Ariana Huffington, who of course runs the Huffington Post. You talk a lot about sisterhood and the importance of sisterhood. So I wanted to firstly ask you, what does sisterhood mean to you, and how has it helped you in your personal life and your career?
Well, I think that's a great question to open up a book like The Woman Code, because if I'm going to tell people that there's this universal code that women embrace and share, sisterhood has to be in there. Sisterhood, I think, as I said in one review, is not a trite word. I think we throw it around too much. You're my sister, oh, you're my girl, whatever. But I don't think we really know what that means. And to me, sisterhood is a collaboration versus competition. It doesn't mean you can't compete. Competition's healthy. But you never tear another woman down. Every woman's not going to be your cup of tea, and that's okay, and you're not going to be hers, but you don't have to tear her down. And so what I go through in this book is ways that we can lift each other as we climb, ways we can help each other when we're down, how to be resilient as women, how to, you know, one of the most beautiful things we see, particularly in October, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
And you see tens of thousands, literally millions of women around this country and around the world marching, running in solidarity for mothers they lost, aunts, sisters, girlfriends, cousins, whatever. And it's something about us as women that makes us very unique and very powerful when we come together. And that, to me, is what sisterhood is about. Doesn't mean we're always going to like each other, but it means that we respect each other and we can lift each other and we can help each other and be there for each other.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of building women up, I wanted to talk to you about something more specific. You know, women and workplace sabotage. I know that you're someone who's very familiar with corporate America. You're very accomplished in your own right. Although more women are being employed in leadership roles, you know, today more than ever, women in workplace sabotage is still somewhat of an issue. So I wanted to ask you...
Somewhat of an issue.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask, why do you think women find it so difficult to trust one another in the workplace?
You know, it's funny. As an African-American woman, I often deal with that twofer, that double. I'm a black person and I'm also a female, so I'm not ever sure which one is giving me the most drama on any given day. But when I think about being a woman and what we do to each other, in my first book, I talked with men who were senior executive leaders, and one of the things I interviewed them was I asked them about how they see women treat other women in the workplace. And some of the stories that they shared were pretty amazing, that men actually get with themselves and say, did you see how mean so-and-so was to so-and-so in the boardroom this morning? Or do you see how she looked at her? Man, if we did that, we'd be out of there. And they talked about how women are often, it's not that men don't do things wrong. They acknowledge that they have a long way to go, but they're saying sometimes we're our own worst enemies. And I think it's interesting to hear that from a man's perspective and then to come back to how we see it as women. And I think that, again, we get in our own way because we operate, don't miss what I'm about to say, from a place of lack. A place of lack. What do I mean by that? When you go into a workplace, to your college classroom, to your law school classroom, to your MBA, whatever it is, and say, I'm the only one in the room, and it's got to be about me and my success, and that every woman in here can take something from me or she's my competition, that's when the problem starts. Because if you're looking at the other woman as the enemy, and that if she gets it, I don't get it, instead of looking at the other woman and saying, well, there's a really big pie out here.
We can all
of us can have a piece. And I'm a firm believer as a woman of faith and as a Christian that what's for me is for me. What God has for me, He has for me. What He has for Bengi, He has for Bengi. I can't take what's for you, and you can't take what's for me. And when we can operate in that space, we operate in a whole different mindset of what it means to be a sister.
That is so true. Why is it important for us to stick together? I know you kind of just touched on that, but why should women, you know, embrace the sisterhood?
Well, look, I think there's a fine line. I don't think it's appropriate. Like, I'll say this, some of my best mentors have been white men. In fact, probably my best mentors and sponsors have been white men. Why do I say that? One, when I came up, I'm in my 40s now, and I was coming through college at the end of the 80s, law school in the 90s, there weren't a lot of women in positions of power. There particularly weren't a lot of people of color in power. So you had to learn to build bridges with other people. And I think that women, so other role models, other mentors, so when you say we should stick together, I kind of have a caveat to that. Yes, we should respect each other. We should honor each other. We don't all have to like each other. And no other woman is obligated, by the way, to help you, to give you a job, whatever, nor is anybody else. You have to earn that respect. You have to earn that open door, whatever, and I think that's so important. But I think that we should stick together when it comes to if we see another woman being mistreated in the workplace or being mistreated even in the house of worship or disrespected, or if we know that our friend is in domestic violence, whatever we know that one of us is in trouble, that's when we need to stick together. There are people I don't like because they don't share my code. I'm not nuts about them, but I don't have to gossip about them, code number 9. I don't have to tear them down. Leave another woman alone. If she's not your cup of tea, be okay with that and be like, you know, I wish her well. Do you and focus on you. And when we stick together in the sense that I've just said, not that we owe each other anything, but we need to be kind. We just need to be decent and in order to each other. It's kind of simple.
Very simple. But my question is, obviously, you know, women particularly, we're very emotional beings. Is it realistic for a woman who's passionate about her career to separate her emotions from her work?
I think to say that women are, you know, this is a tough one because it's somewhat of a stereotype that we're emotional. Men are emotional too. I've been in way more many boardrooms where men have thrown papers across the room, cursed, stormed out, slammed doors, particularly in my profession. My former profession is lawyer. And as a journalist, my God, the filthy language that flies, the potty mouth stuff with the guys, it's trucker world. It's guy culture. Men get away with things that women can't get away with.
So true.
So I want to open with that to say, men, you're as emotional as we are. In fact, you're worse than we are. But a woman is stereotyped often into she's being the B word, she's being catty, she's being emotional, and so we're put into these boxes. So to say we're emotional is true in that we are made and designed by our Creator as emotional beings, nurturers, caretakers. That's who women are. We're designed that way, and that's a good thing. But I think that in our professional life, I'd like to think that we can be a professional like anybody else and that we're not any more emotional than anybody else or any less than anybody else, and that because we are women, I think we're still able to separate. I hope when we go to the office that, you know, one of the things I mentor young women about a lot is keep your emotions, your personal, not your emotions, wrong word, your personal life at home. Don't bring your personal life into the office. That is a big no-no, ladies. It's not necessary because that's how you get caught up into these stereotypes where people say, you see, she's bringing her business or her boyfriend broke up with her, now she's at her desk crying. Men don't do that. And they are very good at being compartmental. And I think we have to learn to be compartmental more as women. You know, one of the codes is, you know, I talk about don't think like a man. I love Steve Harvey, but I hate this whole notion of a woman thinking like a man because I don't want to at all. And I think there are great things we can learn from men. I think men are good teachers because there are things men do that I like a lot. Like they don't get caught up in the gossipy drama that we do.
So true.
Men will say, you won, I lost, I'll work for you, dude, I'll help you, let's go get a coffee or something, let's go work it out. Or let's go to the gym, or let's golf, play basketball. They're over it, not us. When we hate somebody or we're mad, we hate her for life. We tell 10 of our friends to hate her. It's silly.
It is.
You know, it's funny, mean girls become mean women.
Oh, I know.
You know, just saying. Mean girls become mean women. The same girls who were mean in grade school and high school that I still know are still mean women.
Oh my gosh.
Because nobody checked them and stopped them and told them this isn't the way you're supposed to conduct yourself.
Yeah, pretty sad.
Very.
Oprah, who's obviously very accomplished, huge media mogul, she actually once said, you can have it all, meaning women, you can have it all, but not all at once.
Absolutely true.
What does having it all mean to you?
Well, I don't have it all, and I'm not sure I know any woman that does, but I think Oprah's point is well taken. You can have a full, fulfilling life as a woman, but the reality is you're going to give up things that a man's not going to have to give up, or you're going to delay them significantly. One of the big issues, and I talk about this in the book, I wanted children. I love children. I wanted a house full of them. It didn't work out that way, and the clock has probably ran on that happening. So, I mean, you know, and that was, for me, I opened the book talking about, you know, a very personal introduction and how I was in a severe depression and dealing with some stuff, and one of those things had to do with the fact that I was coming to grips that I probably wouldn't be a mother biologically. And I bring that up because this is something that women have to deal with. This is a reality. Men can theoretically have children a lot longer than we can, so a guy that's 50 can go get a 25, 30-year-old and start over again. A 50-year-old woman can't do that. You just, biologically, it's, I guess it could happen, but what 50-year-old woman wants to have a baby, right? You know what I mean? So the reality is that there are certain things, if we put career first, one of the things I try to teach young women that one of my mentors taught me is it's not about work-life balance. That doesn't exist. Can I just dismiss that?
Really?
There is no balance in this life. There is what my mentor, one of my mentors at Comcast, Andrea Agnew, likes to say is life integration. And I mention her and give her credit because I don't think we should take other women's thoughts and wisdom without giving them credit for it. And life integration means you got to learn to do it all at one time and do it well.
Right.
And what that means is getting back to these compartments I talked about.
Yes.
Because what you have to do is, if you're a married woman, you have to schedule time with your husband. You really do have to schedule. Like, there needs to be date night.
Yes.
There needs to be, hopefully your romantic life is flowing a little more naturally than scheduling. That would probably be rough. But my point is that you have to schedule time with your children. You have to schedule time to see your parents and care for, meet with your siblings and hang out with your girls. You have to do it, and you just have to live. So this notion that somehow I'm going to pursue this elusive work-life balance is like a rat on a treadmill, a hamster rather, and you're trying to figure it out, and it doesn't work.
Yes. Amen. That's brilliant advice. Sophia Nelson, it's been such an honor speaking with you.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Thank
I appreciate you. Again, the book is The Woman Code, 20 Powerful Keys to Unlock Your Life, and it's available today. Thank you for watching CP Voice. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to tune in next time, and if you have any questions, please email us at cpvoice@christianpost.com. See you next time. Throughout my time with Sophia, I learned a lot about the importance of sisterhood. Every one of us, particularly women of faith, must honor our life codes by supporting each other and building each other up in order to succeed. The idea that women can achieve just about anything by respecting one another really left me feeling inspired and empowered.